Big festival that everyone looks forward to. It's the Summer Moon Festival in Wapakoneta. And joining us today to give us the highlights and what we can expect this year, to my immediate left, Jackie Martell. She's Executive Director of the Wapakoneta Area Chamber of Commerce. And then we have Dante Santori, and he's Executive Director, Armstrong Air and Space Museum. So thanks for coming today, you guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so Jackie, I mean, we're counting down.
We are counting down.
The festival's coming, and
you bet.
There's always the usual things, but what are some of the highlights this year you think of what's going to happen at the festival?
This year, we're just so pleased to continue the long form that we get to celebrate Tuesday the 12th all the way through the 17th. And then, as Dante will explain, we're going to continue to celebrate on the 20th as well.
Right, exactly. So the traditional things that you know and love with the festival will be there?
Yes, we kick off with the Wapakoneta by Moonlight, which is an opportunity to come out downtown the night before we close the streets. The shops stay open late until 11 o'clock, as well as the eateries. There's live musicians out on the street, tours by the Historical Society. It's just a fun time to come out before the festival actually gets revving up.
Yeah, and it does rev up, right? I mean,
it certainly does.
Rides, activities.
Wednesday's the pageant that we have over at the high school at the Performing Arts Center. And then we move right into the Downtown Festival. Thursday at 4 o'clock, it kicks off, and we go all the way through Saturday with live music. We have the fun contest that everybody loves, the wiener dog races, the bed races. We have a canoe and kayaking. Now that it's rained, the river is
good, isn't
full
it?
of water again, so that's great. And probably one of the best things that we got to do this year was expand through lots of businesses that came together to help us. We expanded the family activities, and we're using the beautiful new Heritage Park to fill it full of fun things for families to do.
Yeah, so that's a good point. It's for families. All ages can come and enjoy.
That's right.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. And Dante, I mean, Neil Armstrong is the reason why we get to celebrate this, right? And the museum, you guys do things too, right?
Yeah, no, we're really excited to have the Moon Festival really back in full force this year after a couple of years of reduced activities. And the museum really ramps up on the weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, we have family activities going outside on the lawn. We'll have some like inflatable obstacle courses. We got rocket launches. Our education team will be doing special activities. We'll have our lunar rover replica out there. We have, the Apollo 11 frogmen are back in town, and we have some NASA astronauts too that'll be making appearances both downtown and the museum and at the race in the morning on Saturday. So we're really excited about having just a great event with lots of special things happening.
Right. And then, it was a couple of years ago we celebrated the 50th, right?
A couple of years ago.
But now we're going to celebrate the 50th of the museum, because I guess it took a couple of years for us to get the museum built and together, right, to celebrate.
Yeah, the museum opened 3 years after the Apollo landing, which is not a lot of time to get a museum created out of whole cloth there. So the museum opened 3 years to the day on July 20th in 1972, and we're celebrating our 50th anniversary on July 20th. 2022. So if you didn't have enough over the Summer Moon Festival, come to the museum on the 20th. We're having a special ribbon cutting for our new Learjet exhibit, which was just installed outside on our grounds. We're having a rededication event where at 2 o'clock, which the museum originally opened at 2 o'clock back in 72. So around 2 o'clock, remember, rededication, we'll have a flyover of some of the Aranca champions, similar to the plane Neil Armstrong learned to fly on. We're having also Greg Johnson, one of the NASA astronauts who actually was the last person to fly that Learjet, is coming back that day. We're having a couple of talks by folks who are involved with the beginnings of the museum, laser show in our theater, and that evening we're having a special gala event to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the museum with the special guests there. Larry Connor, who was a private astronaut from Ohio, flew to the space station a few months ago.
So much that we get to celebrate, and it's so cool that it's in our area. Everyone head to Wapakoneta for the weekend at a Summerfest, right, which is July 12th, as you mentioned, to the 17th, and then check out the museum, too. You guys, thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been great.
Right. It's a great day to be able to celebrate this stuff, too. All right, so don't go away. We'll look at the weather forecast next.